You are watching. Pause. We pause for a second or two. How do we keep life coherent when so much is changing? This is episode 234. My grandfathers. We live right now in times when there are a number of different wars going on around the world. And there is a lot of talk, a lot of anxiety about how much war there will now be. In today's episode, I will talk about the two men in my family who were in my position that I am in now. But the last time a similar kind of fear of war was happening. Today's episode is called My Grandfathers. And they, like me, were in this position of thinking about, will war happen? And in that case, what does it mean for us as men in that situation? So, the Second World War was between 1939 and 1945. And during those years, my maternal and paternal grandfathers were in their late teens and early 20s. And both of them were prepared to go to war as soldiers. The emotional situation that we're talking about today is our sleep situation. And our sleep situation has to do with everything from falling asleep, sleeping and dreaming, and waking up. And why do we talk about sleep in relation to my grandfathers preparing for war? The deeper logic behind our sleep, how we feel about going to sleep and waking up, it has to do with our sense of predictability in life. The emotional skill of today's episode is specific skill guard, and it is specific for our sleep situation. Guard is about that our sense of wanting to protect ourselves, both physically and emotionally. Our guard sort of raises itself, whether we like it or not. And it also lowers itself on its own, whether we like it or not. If we feel that there will be unpredictability ahead, or that unpredictability is here now, our guard goes up, whether we like it or not. And if we feel that life becomes more predictable, or that it becomes more predictable, then slowly our guard will lower itself. So my grandfathers, when they were 18, 19, 20, they were preparing to go to war. They were preparing for extreme unpredictability. And as they were preparing themselves for extreme unpredictability, their guards go up. And that's how it must be. But then comes sort of what happens to them. Soldiers in Sweden were preparing for war, but Sweden never entered the war, not with soldiers. So for my grandfathers, they prepared for war. Their guards went up, specific skill guard. And then the war never happened. And all the preparations they had made, all the readiness that they had built up in their bodies was no longer necessary. They are no longer with us. They passed away a number of years ago. And We will never know how it really felt for them to prepare so extensively for unpredictability and be so ready with their guards, only then to never go to war. It didn't happen. Sweden never entered the war with soldiers, and so their preparedness was no longer necessary. This is a story, a life story, or two life stories for both my grandfathers. These stories are common among Swedish men born in the 1910s and 1920s. It's a common experience that they prepared for war. Their guards went up. They were very much ready for unpredictability. And then it never happened. So they got predictability in life that they weren't prepared for. Sounds like a paradox, and maybe in some ways it felt like a paradox. They prepared for unpredictability, but they got predictability. Or at least a peaceful life. And in this sort of experience lies something perhaps very Swedish, or an experience that many Swedes feel strongly about. The war that never happened, the preparedness that were never necessary. To prepare seemingly in vain, or prepare for something that one never gets to make use of. They did not prepare for family life in peacetime, they prepared for war. But they got family life in peacetime without the war. And now, here we are, our generation. And once again, we are preparing for war. Our guards are up. We are alert. I cannot feel anything but relevance when talking about this subject, talking about my grandfathers, and talking about their alertness and feeling that I am the same right now. I'm ready. But then, we do not know, just as our grandfathers did not know. We do not know if war will happen this time. we do not know if our preparedness will be necessary. It could be that our generation faces something similar. We simply do not know. Could be that it turns into what we are preparing for. Could be that it turns into something we are not prepared for. War and peace aside, could be that we are preparing for something and it turns into something somewhat different from what we expect. Or at least that's what happened to my grandfathers. So why should our generation be any different, really? And this affects our emotional situation, sleep. It affects how it feels to be us going to sleep, sleeping and dreaming and waking up. Because we are constantly preparing ourselves for what we think will happen. And it is draining, it is tough to prepare ourselves for multiple possible roads, perhaps even more than two. Preparing ourselves for many different roads. All the while we feel powerless to influence what road will actually be the one for us. That's it for today. Thank you.